People keep asking if he's back, and I really haven't had an answer. But yeah, I'm starting to think he's back. Hello everyone, I just saw John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, and this is one of the best action franchises of the decade. Keanu Reeves returns as John Wick, and I must say, this is probably my favorite role of his with Neo, and this is probably the most consistent trilogy or franchise he has been a part of. We also have other additions like Halle Berry as Sophia, Asia Kate Dillon, and then let's not forget Mark Dacascos as the villain. He does such an amazing job here. I'm a huge fan of his, and I'm kind of glad they gave him a really good role in this. Chad Stahelski returns to direct, and it pretty much has the same energy as the first two movies. If you're a fan of the first two chapters of John Wick, you're going to be pleased with this. This has some action I have never seen in other films. It's original, it's intense, visceral. This is an amazing film, one of the best films of the year and a perfect way to start the summer movie season. John Wick Chapter 3 pretty much starts off where Chapter 2 left, with John Wick being excommunicado, and he has to basically run for his life. He's on the run, everybody's after him. So it's a matter of survival for John Wick in this, and that's where the story picks up. It's his tale of trying to survive and basically coming to terms with the consequences of his life, the life he chose. And I love this film. They really do more world building, world exploration. And the other John Wick, he pretty much lost his wife. They killed his puppy, took his car. The second John Wick, he has a deal to honor. And this one is really the repercussions of the previous two films. The stunt work is at its finest, some of the best martial arts and gunplay I have seen in action films. And what I really like is they use wide angles, none of that close-up shaky cam stuff you see in other action films. This is old school. It has heart as well. If there's any cons to John Wick Chapter 3, it would be that the story is a bit thin, it's a bit light. But what I do like is, unlike Chapter 2, they take a couple of moments to breathe. Chapter 2 has some fantastic action, but it was like one thing after another. This has some breathing moments, even though they're really just moments that tie one action scene to another action scene. I love the addition of Halle Berry. There's some crazy stuff they do with dogs and her character. They really give her a lot of action to do, and she's pretty much like a female version of John Wick, and I love that. This film takes some unexpected turns, and it really is an intense film, I was expecting this to be a close of a trilogy. They definitely could have had the story they did and timed it a bit more and really concluded the series with this film. But that being said, they could go on for one more film. I would love seeing one more film of John Wick. We also have Angelica Houston in the cast. I like her character. She plays a Russian woman that John Wick knows from his past. So there's a lot of different characters here. I also love the cinematography and just like the shot composition with colors and the color palette. It has that neon look to it again, but this one feels more like the first one while introducing something new. Overall, if I had to give John Wick Chapter 3 a score, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 and an A-. This is one of the best films of the year and one of my favorite action franchises. I think some of the action is maybe a little bit bigger in Chapter 2, but for me right now, John Wick 1 is still the best film, and it's kind of hard to have a sequel to pretty much almost a standalone revenge movie. That being said, I actually like this better than 2 in many parts, even though I like the action of 2. The story I liked better, so I would probably rank it 1, 3, and 2. But if you haven't seen John Wick, definitely check the films out. If you did not like the first two, I'm not so sure you're going to like this one. If you did like the first two, you're definitely going to enjoy this film. I love the Matrix trilogy, but I did not get the vibe I did from Matrix Revolutions with this one. No, this third film measures up to the first two films. And yeah, he even goes True Lies in some ways with a horse. Crazy stuff. That was a crazy scene, and there's a scene with a book. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, a 4.5 out of 5 and an A-. Those are my thoughts of John Wick 3. It was a blast. Sick fist pocket Parabellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. And John Wick goes all-out war in this installment. And yeah, he's back. So if you haven't seen it, totally check it out. But if you have seen John Wick Chapter 3, feel free down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this Parabellum chapter. You can also follow me on the Stardust app at Fred Film Fanatic, and I have an Instagram now, so you can follow me on Instagram at Fred Film Fanatic. Here's some more videos you can enjoy my channel. I have an action reaction of John Wick 1 and 2, and a 10-year retrospective of The Matrix. Feel free to subscribe for more. Oh, and before I go, I also love the new song by Bush, Bullet Holes. Gavin Rossdale, man, it has such a 90s grunge vibe at the end credits. I love that song. Again, the soundtrack has done very well like the first two. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go see John Wick again and buy this on Blu-ray.